It's a known fact that the only currency that matters in the TV industry is ratings, because no matter how progressive, critically acclaimed, or revolutionary the TV show might be, if it ain't getting those eyeballs, it's off to the chopping block. And yeah, TV producers are at the mercy of network execs most of the time, so hello, Netflix!
Oh, this show is about a girl named Ginny.
Yes, here's money. Go, make it, make.
Don't switch channels, cause we're about to binge-watch the 10 shows that were canceled too soon. What's up, Acnatics? This is Discovery Amuse, serving up your daily dose of the most outrageous, outlandish, and out-of-this-world fun facts. Watch till the end, because the concept of our number one pick is just so ridiculous, it will make you scream, cut!
And I do have some thoughts. Really. My friend here thinks it's fine the way it is.
Number 10. Arrested Development. If you enjoy watching TV shows about lovably dysfunctional families, then chances are you followed the crazy hijinks of the Bluth family in the sitcom Arrested Development.
Buster, what are you doing with Mother's rape horn? Yes, I have a rape horn, Michael. Because you took away my mace.
Originally aired on Fox in 2003, the show about a disgraced, formerly wealthy family was highly regarded during its first 3 years on the air, bagging 6 Primetime Emmys and a Golden Globe. With such accolades under its belt, it's no wonder the sitcom gained a cult following.
Now you'll never be able to do it. You're too good. You're the noble one.
Thank you.
The one who never wins.
I don't know about
the
that.
loser. The fool.
It also influenced other handheld single-camera comedy series such as 30 Rock, Modern Family, and Community, and with a powerhouse cast that included Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, Jessica Walter, with Ron Howard executive producing and narrating. What's not to love? However, despite the critical success, Arrested Development's ratings failed to keep up, which led to Fox canceling the show. It did get a chance to redeem itself when Netflix ordered a 5th season, which aired between 2018 and 2019. But a lack of scripts and the brewing tension among cast members that sprung from actor Jeffrey Tambor, who, by the way, was also accused of sexual harassment in his other show, Transparent, ultimately led to the beloved sitcom's demise.
Verbally, yes, he harassed me, but he did apologize. I have to let it go, and I have to give you a chance to for us to be friends again.
Absolutely.
If you thought that was messy, wait till you see our number 1 entry. It's just downright inappropriate. Number 9. Emily's Reasons Why Not. In 2006, millions of dollars were reportedly spent for the promotion of Emily's Reasons Why Not, because why not? The show was set to be ABC's answer to HBO's hugely popular Sex and the City, and Heather Graham's Emily Sanders was out to prove she's a sassier, more relatable version of Sarah Jessica Parker's Carrie Bradshaw. However, the sexy comedy show was axed after just 1 episode. It was reported that ABC committed to the show without even seeing the script, so imagine everyone's surprise when the pilot episode aired with awkward stereotypes and lame humor. The media also pointed out that the premise of Graham's character listing down the reasons why a man won't work for her was too unsustainable and gimmicky. Number 8. Freaks and Geeks. You'd think the show that launched the careers of Seth Rogen, Linda Cardellini, and James Franco would fare better, but the 1999 teen drama series Freaks and Geeks got too freaky for the network executives' comfort that it eventually got the proverbial axe after only 12 episodes.
Rock and roll don't come from your brain, it comes from your crotch. And if you ever got any Mr. Cute shorts, you'd know that.
Set in the early 80s, the show follows the lives of siblings Lindsay and Sam Weir as they navigate high school life with a gang of slackers and geek friends. The series was praised for its raw portrayal of a typical teenager's awkward life, but it clashed with NBC's vision for the show. And what vision might that be, you ask? Well, network execs wanted the characters to be cooler and the storyline to be, happier.
Just because a girl chooses to live her life differently than you do doesn't mean she's automatically barefoot and pregnant.
But as we know by now, showrunners Paul Feig and Judd Apatow are not the kind to back down. This, coupled with the show's dismal ratings, ultimately led to the show's cancellation after just 1 season, but the show's legacy lives on. Number 7. Veronica Mars. Hopes were high when teen noir mystery drama Veronica Mars launched on UPN in 2004. Mind you, the show was no cheap Nancy Drew knockoff, as the feisty character Veronica, played by a young, wisecracking Kristen Bell, solved real cases under the guidance of her detective father.
You're a halfway decent private investigator.
Stop, you're embarrassing me.
You can embarrass the shameless?
The show was enjoying a considerable following before it transitioned to CW during its third season, but Veronica Mars was temporarily shelved to make way for a Pussycat Dolls reality show. The horror, I know!
This face, right here, my over-the-moon face.
When the show finally returned, it was bludgeoned by poor ratings and only lasted for 5 more episodes before getting the chop in 2007. But its cult following proved to be a strong one when in 2014, showrunner Rob Thomas successfully crowdfunded a Veronica Mars movie through Kickstarter. Number 6. The Hasselhoffs. After the success of Knight Rider and Baywatch, and the Hoff even scoring the Guinness record for being the world's most watched man, it seemed like making a reality show about David Hasselhoff and his family was a no-brainer, but apparently his adoring fans couldn't care less about what's going on inside the Hoff's house.
Think in terms of who you are. This is the band.
The Hoff's Midas touch couldn't save the 2010 A&E reality show, as it opened with a dismal 718,000 viewers, and the subsequent episodes tanked even more, with just over 500,000 tuning in. After just 10 episodes, the network decided to drop it like it's Hoff. Number 5. Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip.
We're starting out from scratch after a run of 20 years, and so we hope that you don't mind that our producer was caught doing well.
IMHO, this short-lived TV series was a certified gem of a meta-comedy drama. For starters, it's helmed by Aaron Sorkin, and second, it stars the incomparable Sarah Paulson. How can you not stand hard? Set on a fictional television network, this 2006 TV series took us behind the scenes of the live sketch comedy show named Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. It was pitted against another similarly themed show, 30 Rock, which also revolved around the off-camera shenanigans of an SNL-style comedy series.
He's telling people to change the channel.
I don't think you have to worry about anybody changing the channel right now.
Get him off.
While 30 Rock's ratings during the first season were lower than Studio 60, the latter proved to be more expensive to produce. Eventually, Studio 60 was given the chop after only 1 season, while Liz Lemon and the gang enjoyed a 7-season run and a total of 139 episodes. Number 4. Profit. These days, complex protagonists are all the rage, but back in the 90s, it seemed like anti-heroes had a tougher time attracting viewers. Take Jim Profit, for instance, who did anything and everything just to climb the corporate ladder, even going as far as ruining those who dare stand in his way.
I know what you did to Gail, I know what you did to me. Gotcha.
The premise of Profit now seems tame compared to all the Sopranos, the Dexters, and the Walter Whites that came after it. But the dark themes and multi-layered characters of the show were blamed for its dismal ratings. The drama even ranked 138th in the 160 shows for 1996. Members of the business community even heavily criticized the show's edgy portrayal of corporate America. Considering the popularity of lying and scheming in TV shows nowadays, you can say that Profit was way ahead of its time. Number 3. Pushing Daisies. The CW cult hit Pushing Daisies, arguably one of the best shows of the late 2000s, centered around pie maker Ned and his extraordinary ability to bring people back from the dead, which he eventually used to solve murder mysteries.
Am I dead?
Aside from the quirky characters, what makes this fantasy/mystery/comedy series truly shine are its eye-popping visual style, eccentric production design, and snappy, off-kilter dialogue. Not to mention, it's headlined by the endlessly charming Lee Pace and Kristen Chenoweth.
Oh, this is what it is, isn't it? Unless that's not a rolling pin under your apron.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, despite the show's critical and rating success, it became one of the unfortunate casualties of the Writers Guild of America strikes that happened between November 2007 and February of 2008. The gap between the first and second season caused a considerable dent in the ratings, and even Ned couldn't bring that show back to life. Number 2. Firefly. Set in the 26th century, 2002's Firefly was an American space western helmed by Joss Whedon that followed the adventures of the ragtag crew of the spaceship named Serenity. Through the sci-fi show, Whedon aimed to show how, despite the advancements in modern technology, humanity will still face the same political and moral problems it's confronting today.
It doesn't matter where you go or how far you fly. I will hunt you down. The last thing you see will be my blade.
But while the show had a promising premise, Fox's bold gamble didn't pay off. See, the network tried to experiment and aired the episodes of Firefly out of order. It's like holding a gun to the show's head.
Doesn't anybody care that I have a finely crafted gun pointed at this boy's head?
I care.
For instance, the pilot episode was swapped with the second, so Firefly opened without the necessary backstory needed to hook viewers. Obviously, the gamble confused fans, and eventually Firefly was axed after airing 11 out of 14 produced episodes. Before we go to our number 1 pick, do us a solid and make sure to smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Don't forget to choose all so you won't miss out on any of our latest life-changing, boredom-busting content. And of course, be sure to turn on notifications in your app settings. Number 1. Heil, honey, I'm home. When we talk about American sitcom spoofs, the first and probably the only thing that comes to mind is the brilliant reimagining of well-loved sitcoms in Marvel's WandaVision.
My wife at a flying saucers.
And probably the last thing you'll think of is this obscure 1990 British satirical sitcom that will just make you go, what the heck were they thinking?
Oh, tonight you were making schnitzel. What a joke! You must be real mad at me, honey. I'm a very, very bad Hitler.
The show revolved around Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun living next door to a Jewish couple. But despite other World War II parodies like Hogan's Heroes, viewers complained about how the show trivialized Hitler and the Holocaust.
When I finally get to invade Poland, who'll be the first to know? The Poles? No! Rosa Goldenstein!
The sitcom was even dubbed as the world's most tasteless situation comedy, and rightfully so. Good thing the series was shelved after the pilot episode was aired, and the remaining 7 episodes didn't see the light of day. So, how about you? Which short-lived TV show do you miss the most? Let us know in the comments section below. Take home any of our exclusive gear by browsing our merch shelf or clicking the link in the video description. And while you're at it, take our quiz to find out how you can earn extra cash online doing what you do best. Awesome, right? While we're on the subject of TV classics, why don't you check out our list of the 10 surprisingly ingenious as seen on TV items? Till then, don't be a couch potato, Facnatics, and see you in the next video.